Good evening, everyone, and welcome in to the Michigan Soccer Complex in Ann Arbor for round 2 of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. Today, the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest are taking on your Michigan Wolverines as both teams look to advance to the Sweet 16 beginning Sunday. Thanks for spending part of your Friday with us on WCBN, everyone. I'm Owen Crain. My partner tonight is Ryan Dolson. Ryan, the Wolverines, of course, coming off a strong 3-0 win last week against Bowling Green. What are you looking for from them tonight?
Excuse me. Wow.
Strong start.
Rough start. I think offensively, you got to keep up the pressure like they did against Bowling Green. Bowling Green had absolutely very few good looks at the net, at the goal last week. And I think if the defense can stay strong and if the offense can keep pushing, keep getting those opportunities, I think it'll bode very well for Michigan.
And we are underway here at the soccer complex. Wake Forest gaining control of the ball first, a pass. Going to send it all the way back to the goaltender, back to defender Johnson. Johnson's going to send it up to number 25, Sophia Faircloth. Not past the midfield yet. Michigan's going to intercept the ball, pass over to number 8, Sarah Stratigakis, the playmaker of this team. She's going to look for Riley Loftman. Loftman at the top of the box, sending over to Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson back to Loftman. Loftman looking higher, finding Skylar Anderson. Anderson pauses with the ball for a moment, sends it back to Hackinson, who will find Loftman. Loftman mishandles the ball. The ball's
Gonna roll out.
Rolls out off the foot of a Wake Forest defender. Michigan throws it back in. The ball at Anderson now. She'll pass it back over the midfield line. Back to number 21, Sydney Shepard. Shepard going to go way back, passing the ball back to Hillary Beal in net, who's going to look to swing it to the other side of the pitch, finding Casey Lawrence in the back. Lawrence looking upfield, attempts to pass it to Nikki Hernandez. Hernandez finds it Leah Martin in the backfield. Martin kicking it up the midfield, an errant pass. It's going to be intercepted by Wake Forest, but we have a whistle on the play, and it's going to be Michigan's ball.
I believe number 4, I think, was a bit slow to get up after that play. Hopefully things are all right. Aaliyah Martin, I believe, was the... No, actually, I believe it was number 14. Danielle Wolf was a little slow to get up on that play. Hope she's doing all right.
Ball back in play now. Loftman with the ball. She's going to send it back to Aaliyah Martin at just about the midfield. Martin swinging it way over to the left side of the field. Finds Jade Riviere. Riviere, errant pass is intercepted by Wake Forest. And number 9 for Wake Forest, it's going to be Jenna Menta's going to take it way down the field. And managed to even take a shot off from the far right side of the net. Of course, we are looking at the pitch from our perspective. So kick from the far right side is going to be saved easily by goaltender Hillary Beal of the Wolverines. And Beal's going to put the ball back in play, kicking it to Riley Loftman. Loftman upfield finds Daniel Wolf. Wolf, however, can't control the ball. It's going to go out on the left side, quite close to us at the midfield. They'll throw it into number 7 for Wake Forest. Ball now back deep into the Wake Forest zone, being controlled by the Wake Forest defender. They're going to send it back to the goalkeeper, number 1, Caitlin Parks. They're waiting in the back end with it now, not moving too much with the ball. D-to-D pass. They're going to go up the right side of the field. Deep kick up once again to number 9, who had a shot. She's going to cross over at midfield, going in towards the goal. She looks to get another shot. Strong defense there from the Wolverines. Will block that ball out.
I got to say that in case I'm not sure if it's getting picked up by the broadcast, but let me tell you, the Demon Deacon faithful are really showing up loud and proud tonight. They are making their presence heard.
They're quite excited. That ball going out off a Wolverine in the back end is going to lead to Wake Forest's first corner kick of the game. Kick not too far in. They're just going to find a player right by the corner of the field. A little pass in, a little bit of a fake out there. And that player attempts to kick it. It reflects or deflects off a Michigan defenseman. Goes out in the back end. So once again, we've got another Wake Forest corner kick. 40 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first half, just over 4 minutes into the game. This time she'll attempt to kick it across the front of the box. Doesn't make it. Strong Michigan defense keeps the ball away from Hillary Beal. Nothing she has to do there. Ball goes back towards the box after it's kicked out. And a Wake Forest player looked like she might have got her foot on it, but nothing came of that shot.
Michigan does manage to successfully knock it out of the way before anything dangerous could happen.
And they send it out in the back end once again. Now from the left side of the field, Wake Forest has its third corner kick of the game. Again, we're not even 5 minutes into the first half. This is a strong offensive start, Ryan, for the Deacon Demons.
Absolutely. It's a very far cry from last week's Bowling Green Falcons. Michigan looks like they may be caught a little off guard, but thankfully no damage has been made yet. I believe we are getting our fourth corner kick barely 5 minutes into the game.
After that kick there was deflected out immediately by a Wolverine. So the fourth corner kick of the game, this one again from the left side. Here's the kick. It's going to go towards the box and deflects back out once again. Wow, I haven't seen a soccer game start like this in a very long time.
No,
5 corner kicks in a row.
And Wake Forest really has not had any real impressive, knock on wood, but does not seem to be getting any real impressive looks on goal with any of these corner kicks so far.
Absolutely. The ball, here's the fifth corner kick. It's high, won't make it quite in front of the net. It's at about the lip of the box, and the Wolverines will kick it out to a Wake Forest defender who sends it back in. Wolverines with the ball. Now controlling is Hackinson. Hackinson looks back. She's going to get a give and go, give it back. Taking it into the field is number 14 for the Wolverines, Danny Wolf. Wolf loses control, however, and it's grabbed by a Wake Forest defender who will kick it out. Ball now a little into the Wake Forest zone. We're going to have a throw-in by Jade Riviere after the ball was sent out by Wake Forest. Riviere looking for Danny Wolf. Wolf will get ahead on the ball, however, ball goes into the Wake Forest defender's feet. Riviere and number 25 of Wake Forest, Sophia Faircloth, tussling there, and Faircloth will fall to the ground.
A whistle will be blown there.
Foul on the Wolverines. We're going to have a Wake Forest ball at about the halfway point in the Wake Forest zone from the left side. 38 minutes remaining in the first half. It's still 0-0. One shot for Wake Forest, however, despite their 5 corner kicks. Faircloth sends it deep into the Michigan zone. And although Wake Forest player gets her feet on it, Jade Riviere is there, and she'll send it out. So we'll have another Wake Forest throw in deep into the Michigan zone. This time Wake Forest there doing a fantastic job of getting the ball into Michigan zone quick. That is what we've seen from them so far this game. Deep kicks to move the ball up as fast as possible. Ball back in play now. It's going to head towards the box, and in the box, Aaliyah Martin will get a foot on it. She'll kick it out to the left side.
This game has been absolutely fast-paced. Demon Deacons wasting absolutely zero time throwing the ball in, getting lots of good looks, I think, on the offensive side. Seems to have Michigan playing a little bit of a catch-up, I would suppose, early on in this game. But thankfully, we're only about 8 minutes in, 37 minutes left in the half. Still early, still no score.
Agreed. A little bit behind the curve. The Wolverines caught off guard, perhaps, by the aggressiveness of the Wake Forest offense. Ball little past the halfway point right now. We see get a shot off, and there's a rebound from
the goalie,
Caitlin Parks, the goaltender. She can't get her hands on it immediately, but she manages to jump right on it before any Michigan players can arrive in front of the net. You like what you just saw, Ryan?
I absolutely. That was a really great look. The goaltender struggled to grab it. If, the Michigan player was right there, unfortunately she was able to get on top of it before anything was really able to happen there. But I really like that offensive drive there, I suppose, by the Wolverines.
Agreed. Riviera, defenseman, doing a good job coming up and creating some offense. Ball at the midfield now. The Wolverines in control at the feet of Loffman. Loffman's going to send it over. A little hard to see the number from here. She'll pass it off to Danny Wolf. Wolf is going to send it back to the original passer, who is Nikki Hernandez. Hernandez making a nice move, but is stopped by Wake Forest defender Ryan Brown. She'll recover the ball, and she's going to send it way upfield. It goes into the feet of Sydney Shepard of the Wolverines. The Wolverines with the ball now. Skylar Anderson at the midfield, controlling, slowing down, looking to make some play. She's going to send it off to Riley Loffman. Loffman sending it back to Shepard in the backfield. Shepard crosses the midfield line. She finds Strategakis. Strategakis passes it just to her left to number 19, that is.
Gonna take a shot on net that will go way far left. Does appear that it will count as a shot on goal, though. Michigan's first shot on goal.
So we're tied in shots, 1-1 now. Not tied in corner kicks, of course. Wake Forest, if you're just joining us, starting off with a interesting start, so to say.
5 corner kicks. I've never seen anything like that before.
Never seen anything like that.
100% honest.
Of course, there were no opportunities off those 5 corner kicks.
Yeah, I have to really commend Michigan's defense. I mean, sometimes some teams are lucky to even get 5 corner kicks in a game, but Wake Forest had corner kick after corner kick after corner kick, and Michigan was able to, diffuse these situations very cleanly without any damage.
Absolutely. Ball in play now at about the halfway point in the Michigan zone. Michigan with possession. Sydney Shepard is going to send it out. It's at the midway mark. Kicked back in by a Wake Forest defender, but the Wolverines recover the ball once again. Strategakis whiffs a little bit on a kick, and Wake Forest recovers. Now a tussle for it at the midpoint of the Wolverine zone. Leads to a Wake Forest ball once again. With the ball now is number 25 in the back end, Sophia Faircloth. We've mentioned her name a few times. She'll pass it over to number 3, DeMarco. DeMarco's going to send it deep into the Wolverine zone, just about at the lip of the box. And a shot comes off the foot of a Wake Forest offenseman. And Sydney Shepard of the Wolverines tries to get a foot on it. It looks like she almost deflected the ball. Luckily for the Michigan faithful, Hillary Beal has no problem getting her hands on that ball. Second shot of the game for Wake Forest.
It's definitely, it's a very, Wake Forest, very obviously different team from, Bowling Green last week. Michigan was on the offensive pretty much all game. Bowling Green almost playing conservative, but this Demon Deacons team. They are playing aggressive. They are getting good looks. They got the Michigan defense, struggling to keep up almost.
Michigan absolutely playing under pressure. And speaking of that pressure, the ball is deep in the Wolverine zone right now. Kicking it out is going to be number 7, Meredith Hackinson. She'll send it out on the left side. That's our left side, of course. And the Demon Deacons will throw the ball in at about the midpoint of the Wolverine zone. Ball's in now, controlled by a Wake Forest player. They're going to send it way back to the last player back in the field besides the goaltender. They're cycling it back now high up in Wake Forest zone, looking to reset. Ball back at midfield. And Wake Forest will cross in once again into the Wolverine zone. Pass by Wake Forest, looks to get the ball past Jade Riviere. They can't get by her. She is quite fast. I wouldn't try it.
You do got to remember, Michigan did beat Bowling Green 3-0 last week, but also Wake Forest was also able to win 3-0 against Harvard last week. They're a very aggressive, fast, offensive team. They get a lot of good shots on goal. It's...
And, that was a strong Harvard team as well. So we're seeing 2 strong soccer teams compete right now, and it's a pretty even matchup, so to say. Both teams controlling the ball, about equal possession time.
I'd probably give the edge to the Demon Deacons. I think the ball has certainly been on Michigan's defensive side more than the offense has had control of it. But, still early on in the game, still 0-0. Both teams only with 1 shot on goal so far.
Ball goes out on a Wake Forest player, and Jade Riviere will have the throw in for the Wolverines. She'll find Strategakis at about midfield. Strategakis is going to swing it back to Aaliyah Martin. Martin looks over towards Skylar Anderson. Anderson looking upfield, looking for Loftman. She won't find her. Ball now in play between a Wolverine and a Demon Deacon. The Wolverines will win it out. This is Avery Katila, and she'll find Meredith Hackinson upfield. Hackinson gets a shot off, and it's off the goalie's foot, but reflected into the net off the head of a Demon Deacon defender.
The Wolverines
what a goal.
Will strike first in this matchup. About 31 minutes left in the first half. Second shot on goal for the Wolverines. And like you said, defended off the goalie, defended off the Wake Forest head, and Michigan will just get a great look at that one.
What a breakaway by Hackinson there, coming in at the right side of the net. She'll get the shot off again, like Ryan just repeated. Went off the foot of Caitlin Parks, the goaltender for Wake Forest, but then in the rebound, it bounced off the head of a Demon Deacon defender right into the net.
Just an absolutely great breakaway. Really could not draw that up any better. Michigan able to take an early 1-0 lead, and I think in a game like this, getting to strike first can really make all the difference. This really feels like the game where momentum can change on a dime, and if you can get on the board first like that, it spells great fortune, I think, for you.
Absolutely. A correction in my call. The goal is going to be given to Danny Wolf, the junior forward, and Hackinson will get the assist. Wolf was next to the player of Wake Forest that I believed deflected the ball in, so it may have been Danny Wolf who, in fact, deflected that ball into the net. All around, a great play by the Wolverines. Wolf was in the right place. Hackinson, a great shot, and it's 1-0 with 30 minutes remaining in the first half. Ball back in play now at about the midpoint of the Wolverine zone, and we've got Loffman controlling with a few Demon Deacons around her. She looks upfield to Danny Wolf. It's going to go off the chest of Wolf back to Wake Forest. Wake Forest with the ball now. They're going to cross back over the midfield into the Wolverine zone. Number 4 with the ball is Small, her last name. She'll find another Wake Forest player. This player will attempt to kick it towards the lip of the goal.
Unable to get a good look at it.
Hillary Beal just scoops it right up.
Absolutely. She had no trouble with that one.
Beal going to go with the short pass to Sydney Shepard. And Shepard loses control of the ball. Wake Forest going to control, but they're going to bring it back. My apologies for the pause there. We were receiving some information. I believe we have confirmed that the goal did go off of a Wake Forest player. They assigned the goal to Danny Wolf, who was closest to that player. That is what we're hearing. Not official, of course. Wolverines back with the ball again. It's Strategakis now controlling. She's going to look over and find Loffman. Loffman to the back end finds Jade Riviere. Riviere upfield. Pass is a little off, and it's going to go into the chest of a Wake Forest player. However, when they kick it back, the Wolverines once again recover the ball. Riviere now. Riviere looks to Loffman. Loffman back to Riviere. This time she'll try number 19, Avery Katia. Katia coming up with the ball. She's looking for Sarah Strategakis. Doesn't make it. It's intercepted by Wake Forest, but Wake Forest turns it back over to the Wolverines quickly. Strategakis recovers the ball. Strategakis to Skylar Anderson, about the halfway point of the Wake Forest zone now on the far left side. We're going to have a shot from the Wolverines looking to find Meredith Hackinson deep in the box. They don't. The ball goes out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Wake Forest's goaltender, Caitlin Parks.
This is absolutely a fast-moving game. You know, you got a second ago, you're just going from name to name, swapping possession. I mean, both teams playing very aggressively, but, I mean, like I said right when the goal happened, I think the Wolverine goal really allowed them to take a bit of a momentum shift, really take over. These last couple minutes have been all Wolverines, it feels.
Agreed. The Wolverines dominating in possession time. Here's the kick. It's going to head deep into the Wolverine zone, and chasing after it is Jade Riviere. She's going to let the ball roll out of bounds. She'll have the throw-in. And she's waiting with it, taking her time, looking to see who's open. Sends the ball far upfield, almost to the midfield point, but doesn't find a Wolverine. It's going to go into the feet of number 7 of Wake Forest, a defender. They'll swing it around the horn back towards the left side of the field. Once again, Wake Forest still controlling at the midfield. Right now, the ball within the circle, right in the middle of the field. Errant pass by Wake Forest is going to go into the feet of Aaliyah Martin. Martin sends it to Loffman. Loffman over to Riviere. Riviere with the ball now. She's dribbling. Under pressure, she finds Meredith Hackinson at midfield. Ball now into Wake Forest zone. Hackinson's going to send it to Strategakis. As Strategakis gets around one defender, she's got 2 more on her, and a kick goes right into the hands of goaltender Caitlin Parks of the Demon Deacons. But a fantastic play all around by the Wolverines there. Like you said, bing, bang, boom. One foot to another foot. Michigan absolutely controlling the pace of this game right now.
Yeah, the Wolverines able to find Stratigakis almost like a threading the needle pass between two Demon Deacon defenders. Able to find Stratigakis, who did have a decent look on goal that unfortunately just managed to go straight in the hands of the Wake Forest goalie.
Still a hard, aggressive kick. Goaltender was just there at the right time. Kick back in. The Wolverines have the ball right now. Again, at about the midfield with the ball is Skylar Anderson. She's going to look to find Stratigakis, but Stratigakis is called offside about halfway into the Wake Forest zone.
She absolutely had yet another great look at the ball. I think the ball might have gone a little too over her head, but I mean, I definitely could have seen. She could have had a good look on that goal yet again.
Stratigakis, of course, one of the playmakers of this Wolverine team, one of the people who have got them so far in this tournament. The other two being senior Nikki Hernandez and Riley Loftman, who both lead the teams in goals with 9 apiece. The Wolverines with the ball now deep in their zone. Controlling is Aaliyah Martin. Martin's going to find Sydney Shepard. Shepard gets the ball over to Skylar Anderson. Anderson kicks it way down the field. It's going to go back into the feet of Wake Forest players. Wake Forest swinging around the horn in their zone. They're going to kick the ball deep back over into the Wolverine zone. Wolverines will get the ball, however. Sydney Shepard gets a foot on it. She'll send it back out into the Wake Forest zone, where Wake Forest defenders once again recover the ball. Right in the center of the Wake Forest zone right now, they have possession. They're going to swing it to the right side of the field. The pass, however, is errant. Headed by a Wolverine, Stratigakis now in possession, and she's looking for Hackinson. Doesn't find her. It's knocked down by a Wake Forest player, but Stratigakis once again somehow manages to recover the ball. She'll pass it over to number 19, Avery Kalida. Excuse me if I mispronounced that name. I'm sorry about that.
Had to take an extra second. It's all right. It happens.
Yeah. And ball is back into the feet of Wake Forest. Now they're still deep in the Wake Forest
Approaching under 24 minutes left in the half. Wolverines able to steal a pass excellently.
Do a strong job there. Wolverines back in possession at about the halfway point of the Wake Forest zone on the far left side from our vantage point.
I'm starting, not to be, I suppose, a bit too presumptuous, but I'm really seeing, I think, Wake Forest playing a bit more sloppily than they were. First 10 minutes of the game, they seemed absolutely dominant. They had a strong game plan. They seemed focused, but I think having to play from behind, I think that can really mess up your focus. It can really mess up a game plan. It can mess up, mental state.
Absolutely. The Wolverines have really just turned on the pressure in this game. Just the past minute that we've been talking, Wake Forest just sending the ball around deep in their zone while being chased by Michigan defenders. The ball finally went out of bounds off of a Michigan player. Wake Forest with the throw, and they'll throw it up to the midway line on the field, but the Wolverines will recover the ball. It's Stratigakis again. Stratigakis is going to send it deep into the Wake Forest zone. Looks like she was looking for Hackinson, but Hackinson was not there. It's going to go into the feet of the Wake Forest goalie. She'll take her time with it and pick the ball up.
And, like I was saying, first 5 minutes, Wake Forest had 5 corner kicks. Ball was entirely, on Michigan's defensive side. Wake Forest getting great looks, but for the past, I'd say pretty much since the goal at about the 34-minute mark, it really seems like this game has been all Michigan. It's been all offensively, pushing, stealing passes, and Wake Forest playing from behind.
Agreed. The kick from the goaltender, Shepard gets a head on it, and Michigan recovers the ball. They'll send it back to Beal. Beal's going to kick it out to Loftman. Loftman, looking to her left, is going to find Skylar Anderson on the side of the field. Anderson starts coming towards the midfield where she will find Jade Riviere. Riviere turning on the offense right now. She's coming in deep into the Wake Forest zone, and she's going to take a shot. It's going to go just right of the net by a few feet. Wasn't necessarily close, but it was a strong shot and a good offensive opportunity for the Wolverines. Riviere showing off her offensive skills there. Caitlin Park's going to take the goal kick for Wake Forest.
Again, yet another example, Michigan putting on the pressure on offense, although it wasn't the best look on goal. It was certainly a look on goal, and I think Michigan's in full control of this game currently, I would say.
Kick out taken over by the Wolverines. Strategakis has the ball, but she'll send it a bit too far, and it goes back into the feet of Caitlin Parks, the Wake Forest goaltender. Wake Forest with the ball. Now she'll send it up to the midfield, where a pass is errant. Sydney Shepard gets a foot on it, but she taps it out. In the near side, we're going to have a throw-in from Wake Forest. Number 25 to be exact. She's taking her time with the ball, looking at the field. There's still 20 minutes remaining in the first half right now. She'll send it to number 89 of the Demon Deacons. 89 sends it back to number 25, and she'll cycle this ball back into the Wake Forest zone, where the defense will go D to D around the horn, taking their time setting up the play. Wake Forest defender looking for, I believe that's number 21 on the far side, just over the midfield line. Unable to find her. Errant pass goes out of bounds, and the Wolverines will have the throw-in, where they'll find number 20, Nikki Hernandez, with the ball. However, her header is turned over to a Wake Forest offensive player.
Ooh. A whistle going to be called. Not sure what the call is going to be, but it is unfortunately going to be against the Wolverines.
Foul on the Wolverines after a little bit of a collision on the far side of the field, about halfway into the Wolverines zone. Wake Forest on a little bit of a run there. They'll have a kick. It's going to be number 25 for Wake Forest. That's Sophia Faircloth. We said her name a few times. She seems to be a playmaker. The midfielder, again, on the far side of the field, midway into the Wolverine zone, and the players are setting up in the box. Wake Forest fans rumbling their feet, quite excited about this opportunity, perhaps the best one the Demon Deacons have had so far in the game. Shot is off the foot of Faircloth, and it's going to go just shy of the net to the left.
Not going to touch any other players, Wolverines or Demon Deacons, as it sails harmlessly out of bounds.
No worries there for Hillary Beal. We're going to have a few Wake Forest substitutions, our first of the game, and we're going to have some for the Wolverines. Casey Lawrence comes in.
About 18 and a half minutes left in the half. Really has been all Michigan since the goal at about 10 minutes into the game.
Probably
I
10
believe.
minutes into the game, yeah. After Wake Forest's 5 corner kicks, but not too long after that. Full game recap. Michigan right now with 4 shots to Wake Forest 1. However, 0 corner kicks for the Wolverines, of course, to the Demon Deacons 5. If you weren't with us then, it was a crazy start to the game where Wake Forest, they start with a corner kick and they take a few more each time. It's knocked out in the far end by the Wolverines. Ball back in play now, 18 minutes left in the game. Wake Forest controlling deep in their own zone. Under heavy pressure from the Wolverines. Loftman putting on the pressure. We're going to have a turnover where Strategakis recovers the ball. She's dribbling with it now. She'll find Loftman once again. Loftman sends it back to Jade Riviere. Riviere back to Loftman at about the midway point in Wake Forest zone. On the near side now, they find number 6, Casey Lawrence. Lawrence has the ball stolen from her by number 20 of Wake Forest. She's still applying quite a lot of pressure to the defense. Wake Forest deep in their own zone right now. They're looking to get out. Here comes the breakout. Passes to number 20. 20 for Wake Forest, coming close to the midway point of the field, but she's going to stop under pressure from Lawrence and cycle it back. Ball is passed back to Parks, the goaltender for Wake Forest. And she'll pass it back up to the defense. Ball deep in Wake Forest's zone. Still not much happening. Not too much pressure. Deepest for the Wolverines is Strategakis right now, chasing after the ball. We're going to have an errant pass from Wake Forest. A little bit of miscommunication between number 7 and number 3, and the Wolverines will get the throw-in. Grabbing the ball for the Wolverines will be Jade Riviere.
Coming up on under 17 minutes left in the half. Michigan with still a very solid 1-0 lead thanks to a goal about 10 minutes in, 10, 11 minutes into the game.
Riviere still with the ball. She's going to throw it in, finding, I believe that was number 6, Casey Lawrence. Lawrence, ball bounces off of her. Wake Forest defender's going to knock it out, and Riviere will have yet another throw-in for the Wolverines. She's taking her time now at about the midfield on the near side. Here's the throw-in. She's going to find Riley Loftman. Loftman Looking for Lawrence. She gives the ball to Lawrence, and Lawrence, on what almost looked like a breakaway, has the ball taken away from her at the last moment. She had two Wake Forest defenders moving in on her from both sides. They managed to get a foot on the ball, steal that away. Ball still deep in the Wake Forest zone right now. Strategakis providing the forecheck for the Wolverines, putting on that pressure. They haven't crossed the ball past the midway point in a few minutes. They still won't as they try, but the ball is intercepted by a Wolverine. She's pushed away, and we're going to have a whistle. Wolverines ball after a foul against number 20, Nikki Hernandez, after she intercepted that ball but was shoved a little bit by the Wake Forest.
I do have to point out a very beautiful sight. The moon starting to creep out over the trees into the stadium. It is a beautiful, bright, full-looking blood orange moon. Absolutely beautiful sight here.
I have to agree, it is quite the sight to see. The sun has set here in Ann Arbor. It was a nice sunset, a little bit of orange hue in the sky, but it is dark, this field, under the lights tonight in the NCAA tournament, round 2. Ball is deep in the Wake Forest zone right now, and Lawrence, again, with the ball, is going to have it kicked away by a Wake Forest defender, but that ball goes out. Riviere will have yet another throw, and this is her third in just over 3 minutes. Under 15 minutes remaining in the first half now. Riviere taking her time with the ball. She's got Lawrence close and Loftman off to the side. Strategakis looking to make her presence known. She'll choose Loftman. Loftman heads the ball. It goes a little bit out of the zone, and a Wake Forest defender will get her foot on it, sending it deep to Aaliyah Martin at the midfield. Martin going to cross over back into the Wake Forest zone, and she'll send a kick far, looking for Strategakis. Can't find her. Bounces off of a Wake Forest defender. Wake Forest sending it back up. Jade Riviere putting on a lot of pressure at the midfield line, and a sliding kick manages to send the ball out. Wake Forest will have a throw in at the midfield on our near side.
Number 25 for Wake Forest will be throwing it in again. I do have to note something very different in Wake Forest game plan. At the very start of the game, the second that they had the ball out of bounds, they'd be throwing it in about a second later, but I've noticed a lot of hesitation coming from 25 and everybody else on the Demon Deacons. Every single time they need to reset with the ball out of bounds, they're really trying to formulate some sort of plan that doesn't seem to be working.
And I'd attribute that to they came out really aggressive. It hasn't worked so far. The Wolverines have been dominating in zone time and possession time. These first 30 minutes of the game. We're ticking down on 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Wolverines leading 1-0, as you can see with our score bug on screen. Michigan with 4 shots on goal to Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Ooh, bit
1.
of
We're
rough
going to have a
contact there.
collision on the field is going to lead to a whistle. Wake Forest will have possession of the ball. 25 starting off again once with it. She'll send it to 3, who will send it back to the defense, number 24. Ball crosses back over the midfield line, and it's going to be deep in the Wolverine zone for the first time in quite a while as Wake Forest fights with it. They're going to lose the ball. Ball will go to Loftman, and Loftman has a give and go, but she loses control of the ball. It's intercepted by a Wake Forest player who's going to make a fast, aggressive push towards the Wolverines' net. Ball at the lip of the net right now being controlled, and it will be sent to number 25 of Wake Forest. The ball will be kicked out of the zone by the Wolverines, and Wake Forest is going to have another throw in, taking this once again. We've said her name quite a few times, Faircloth for the Demon Deacon. She throws it in. Quite a near throw. Player kicks it across the box right in front of the goal. No one is there. A Wake Forest player, however, recovers the ball before it goes out on the far side of the field. They've got possession of the ball, a kick. An attempted shot on net is a little bit of a whiff. It won't go anywhere. And the ball still in Wake Forest possession. And they just turned it over to the Wolverines about halfway deep into the Wolverines zone. Coming down now is Lawrence for the Wolverines. Her kick is going to be knocked away. Wake Forest with the ball now deep in their own zone once again, where most of their possession has been so far this game. They're swinging it around the horn.
That was a very strong possession by the Demon Deacons there for a minute, where they couldn't even get a shot on goal. Probably, I'd say, their best look all game had me sweating some bullets there for a few seconds, but Wolverines able to handle the situation very cleanly.
And that was really a testament, too, to Michigan Wolverine defense. It has been strong. We've been watching them all season. That is what they do. They will box you out as you try to get near that goal. They do not allow that ball to get right in front of the net, where the majority of goals in the game of soccer will happen. Ball in play now. Wake Forest is going to send it deep into the Michigan zone. There to catch it, or not catch it, rather head it, is Sydney Shepard. Shepard going to knock it out a little bit, and Wake Forest will have another throw in just a few feet into the Wolverine zone.
Wolverine number 19, I believe, Avery Kalita, excuse me, will kick the ball out there. Going to be yet another throw-in for the Deacons.
Wake Forest going to opt to throw it in very close. Ball will be kicked out once again by a Wolverine, so they're going to move up a few feet on the near side and try that one more time. Throw to the same person. She's going deep to the corner, left side of the field from our view, and the Wolverines once again knock it out. That was Jade Riviere getting a foot on it that time. Wake Forest, let's try this one more time.
I'd say about the fourth throw toss-in by Wake Forest about the last 30 seconds.
And the Wolverines will get a foot on the ball. Again, that's Jade Riviere playing some strong defense. Stratagak is going to grab it at about the midway point in the Wolverine zone, but she'll turn it over to the Demon Deacons. Deacons with the ball on it now at about the lip of the goal, and we're going to have a shot on net that drifts just above the crossbar of the goal.
Just a little too high.
Hillary Beal moving a little bit, but she could tell it was over. A few feet over. A great shot on net, however, from the Demon Deacons, their best opportunity we've seen in a while.
Going to have a couple substitutions here. Not 100% sure who just came. I did see that Sammy Woods did indeed come in off the bench.
And I believe Hackinson has re-entered the game as well for the Wolverines. Jade Riviere with the ball right now. It's going to deflect off of a Demon Deacon. And they're going to control the ball deep in their zone. Creeping up towards the midfield with the ball now is Wake Forest. Wake Forest in all white today. The Wolverines in all blue. Kick by Wake Forest is going to go to Sydney Shepard. Shepard will send it back to Hillary Beal, who will kick it deep towards the midfield, but it's going to go a little bit to her left and out on the far end of the field. Of course, that's the far side from our vantage point at the press box.
Approaching 8.5 minutes left in the half. Wake Forest has really had offensive control of the ball for about the last 5 minutes, roughly, I would say.
That said, Wolverines in possession right now. Controlling the ball is Sammy Woods. She's going to cross over the midway point, looking for Lawrence at the lip of the goal, and Lawrence can't control the ball on her feet. She'll turn it over to the Wake Forest defenders, who are swinging it once again around the horn. They're going to send it back to their goaltender, Caitlin Parks.
I do have to give props to the Demon Deacons. I love saying Demon Deacons. Such a
I can tell.
Such a fun name, I will admit. But the defenders there really did a good job of stopping, diffusing, as I like to say, that situation before Michigan could get a really good look on goal.
Absolutely. Ball back in play at about the midfield right now. Wake Forest sends one deep, and fighting for it is Shepard. They're going to enter into the box. She'll get a kick off, and it's a roller, not necessarily on net, a few feet to the right. Beal has no problem scooping that ball up. Another strong opportunity for, like you like to say, the Demon Deacons. And that's going to be their third shot on net of the game. Shepard with the ball now for the Wolverines. She'll kick it towards the midfield, where a Wake Forest defender grabs it, scoops that ball up, right up. They're going to control now, still at about the midfield, a few meters into the Michigan Wolverine zone. Pass to a Demon Deacon on the far side of the field is knocked out by a Wolverine. We'll have a throw-in, and on the throw-in,
Going to get a bit too aggressive there,
that's
unfortunately.
Casey Lawrence looking to make a little bit of an interception on that play. She can't. She knocks the Wake Forest player over. We're going to have a whistle from the referees.
Just a little too rough there. Wake Forest taking a second to set the ball up.
They're taking their time, 6:30 remaining in the first half. And we're going to see the players of both teams line up at the lip of the box, expecting a kick on goal. Here's the kick. It's heading towards Beal. I'm not sure if Beal or a different defender got her head on it, but the ball bounces out back towards the midfield. That ball must have had a lot of power behind it because that header made its way back towards the midfield. Like I said, Wake Forest has the ball now. They're about at the halfway point of the Michigan zone. Number 3 is going to send it back to a defender. She's going to take her time with it, looking around. She's going to find it. She looks towards 88. Errant pass. Wolverines almost take control, but Wake Forest regains the ball. They're going to lose it quickly, and Jade Riviere takes the chance to punt it deep down the field. It's going to end up all the way back in the hands of Parks. Parks looking around. She'll find a defender to her right who will start taking the ball back up the field at about the halfway point in the Wake Forest zone. She'll move it up the field to the far side at the midfield. Now into the Wolverine zone come the Demon Deacons once again. I take that back. They're going to pause, cycle back, set things up a little bit. Still at the midfield. We're going to have a turnover to the Wolverines.
Bit of
Aaliyah Martin in a collision there, but the Wolverines maintain possession of the ball in order to avoid an offsides call, however.
They will have to let that one sail past.
Almost an opportunity for Hillary Beal deep in the zone. It looks like she was called offsides on that play, however. Sorry for a little bit of confusion there.
Coming up on about 4.5 minutes left in the first half. Michigan still holding on to a very strong 1-0 lead.
Now, I don't know about you, but this half for me has really flown by.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that. I've been thinking that all half. I look up and I see 15 minutes left. I look up, I see 5 minutes left. It's crazy.
It's been an interesting and exciting half of soccer. Speaking of interesting, Riviere coming towards the box, the Wake Forest box, of course. She's going to take what looks to be either a hard pass or a shot. It's real wide of the net. The Wolverines recover the ball on the far side. And in their attempt to get a shot off, we have another offsides call on Michigan. That's going to lead to Caitlin Parks. The ball being so deep, the goalie will take this kick.
It has been just an absolutely fast-paced half. Feels like, you know, every so often a different team just completely takes control, shifts from offense to defense, you know, on a dime. Agreed.
Kick back in. So we're at about the midway point of the Wake Forest zone. They're controlling with the ball. They're going to send it to the midfield line where number 20 has a give and go. She's going to find number 4. Number 4 making an aggressive push on the Wolverines to the lip of the goal. She'll be at the top of the box and going to get a shot off. That's going to go straight into the hands of Hillary Beal. Another fantastic save. She didn't have to do too much there. It's Wake Forest's 4th shot of the game. We're going to be tied at 4 in shots with 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
I said Devil Deacons. The Demon Deacons, though, with 4 corner kicks compared to Michigan's 0, coming up on, I believe, like you just said, under 3 minutes left in the half at the midway point of the field.
And Beal's kick in is taken over at the midfield by Wake Forest. They're going to take it deep on the far side in a kick. Again, deep in the far side. Goes right into Beal's hands. I'm not sure if I'd consider that a shot. Doesn't look like the scoreboard operator is considering it a shot. We're still at 4-4 here. In terms of shots at the Soccer Complex, of course, 1-0 is the score. 2:23 remaining in the first half with Wake Forest in control of the ball. The midpoint of their zone. They're going to send it up to the midfield. Crossing into the Wolverine territory is Wake Forest. However, Sydney Shepard will intercept a pass. She'll turn it back over to number 25 of Wake Forest. 25 coming in. She's going to find number 28. 28 approaching the top of the Wolverines box. They're going to attempt a shot. Beal is going to get her hands on it. She drops to the ground, but it's no problem for her. The shot left of the goal anyways by quite a few feet.
Wake Forest seem to be taking shots whenever they can even get a semi-decent look on the goal. I think they know just how aggressive and, you know, contactful, that's definitely not a real word, but the Michigan defense can be, and they're just trying to get anything off in hopes that maybe they'll get lucky for a moment.
Absolutely. They're taking their opportunities. The kick down is going to go into the feet of Lily Farkas. Farkas looks like she has an opportunity for a moment. She does not. The Wake Forest, defense will get there. Will get on her, and the ball will roll out off the Wolverines. We'll have a Wake Forest throw-in, however, and they're going to send it back into Michigan territory where it's just Wolverines controlling the ball now.
Coming up on under 1 minute remaining left in the half. Michigan still holding on to that 1-0 lead. Their first goal, the only goal, coming about 10 minutes into the half.
And Michigan going to send it deep into the Wake Forest zone where Wake Forest goaltender Caitlin Parks will grab it and kick it back towards the midfield. It's going back and forth at the midfield. Right now with the ball is Sammy Woods. Woods looking for Lily Farkas. She'll miss her, and the ball is going to go back towards Caitlin Parks, the Wake Forest goaltender. Once again, Wake Forest with the ball still. Under 30 seconds remaining in the first half. They're going to kick it up the field. However, the Wolverines get a hand on it, or rather a foot on it, Sammy Woods with the ball. Right now she'll turn it back over to Wake Forest. She'll be very aggressive, however, stopping any progress as Wake Forest turns it back over to the Wolverines. Ball in possession of Riley Loftman. Loftman going to swing it back to Riviere. Riviere taking her time with it, holding on to it. Wake Forest won't push it. Time expires in the first quarter. It's 1-0 Michigan after 45 minutes of play in round 2 of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. What a first half we have seen. Dolson, what are your thoughts?
It's really been back and forth. I think, start of the game, first 5-10 minutes, Wake Forest had very solid control, but Michigan was able to get a really great look on goal and score the only points of the game so far. And Michigan took control for about the next 15-20 minutes, and then I'd say for about the last 10 minutes of the half, it was mostly all Wake Forest. It really seems to be back and forth control-wise in this game.
Multiple changes in momentum in who has possession of the ball for a long period of time in that first half. But, a pretty fair game. Both of these teams very strong. The Wolverines up 1-0. Want to thank you all for spending part of your Friday night with us. That's been the first half. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and we'll be back for the second half of play in round 2 of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. Michigan Wolverines versus the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. We'll see you in 10.
Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back into the UM Soccer Complex, everyone, where the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest are taking on the Michigan Wolverines. We're 1/2 into the game. Michigan up 1-0 over Wake Forest. I'm Owen Crain. My partner is Ryan Dolson. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in to WCBN this Friday evening. It's a chilly one, and it is dark in Ann Arbor, but we are having a good time here. Ryan, a strong start for the Wolverines. You like what you see?
Absolutely. I like I said, I think right before we took a break for the half, I mean, it really feels like momentum has been shifting a lot. This is definitely a game where momentum shifts on a dime. A 1-goal lead, obviously, it's a solid lead, but, I mean, all it takes is one good look by Wake Forest to completely change up the dynamic of the game. But I like how Michigan's been playing. They seemed a little caught off guard right at the beginning of the game, I think, with Wake Forest's really high-intensity offense. But, I think they were able to adapt well. And I think, especially with getting that goal early on, it's really changed the flow, the whole dynamic of the game, really.
Agreed. Both teams showing their aggressive features in that first half. Wake Forest coming out strong. They slowed things down a little bit, and that's when the Wolverines were able to take advantage and get on the board. Let's talk about what we saw. Wake Forest with 5 shots in that first half, Michigan with 4. You normally see Michigan leading in shots after the first half. Nothing to worry about if you're a fan of the Wolverines, of course. They've got the lead on the board. And as both teams come back out onto the field, I'm not sure how much you can hear at home, but time just expired in terms of the clock for halftime. The buzzer has blown. The NCAA hype video has played. And we are back and ready to get back into it. Second half of round 2 of the NCAA women's soccer tournament.
Round of 32, I believe, round 2.
Just about to begin.
It would also be very remiss not to mention, Wake Forest had 5 corner kicks start off the first half. Literally within the first 5 minutes, it was back-to-back, but Michigan able to successfully stop all of them. Michigan has not had a corner kick yet all game, but thankfully so far it does not seem like they've needed one.
Not so much. Again, these first 5 minutes of the second half could quite possibly set the pace for the rest of the game. 45 minutes on the board, and we are underway. Danny Wolf starting out with the ball. She's going to send it off to Laughlin, who will send it over to Skylar Anderson. They're swinging it back around. Aaliyah Martin now to Avery Katia, back to Sydney Shepard.
It's been a very fast-paced, quickly paced first half. Teams getting possession, losing possession, taking control. It's definitely going to be interesting to see who starts off the half hot.
Absolutely. The Wolverines with the ball now. They've just crossed over into the Wake Forest zone, but we're going to have a turnover. Wake Forest with the ball now. Some strong defense from the Wolverines leads it back into Michigan possession. With the ball now, Skylar Anderson. Anderson looking upfield. She's going to find Kalita. Kalita back to Anderson. Anderson doing some dribbling. She's going to get around one Wake Forest defender. She finds Laughlin at about midfield. Laughlin looking to her right. He's going to find Kalita once again. Kalita moving fast up the field is going to send the ball right in front of the net, but a Wake Forest defender is there to kick it out. Kalita covered quite a lot of ground there, and Sarah Bridenstine was also involved in that play as well. Wake Forest with the ball now, deep in their own zone, under strong pressure from the Wolverines. They're going to kick it out, but Michigan will recover the ball. This is going to be Kalita in the back end. She'll swing it to Aaliyah Martin. Martin looking upfield at the midway point. She's going to start to move in and send it back to Skylar Anderson. Anderson begins to move in halfway into the Wake Forest zone. 3/4 into the Wake Forest zone at the top of the box. Man, and she almost had a fantastic passing opportunity. Looking for, I want to say that was Danny Wolf she was looking for, but Wolf just overran the ball, and that could have been
such a tragic pass. Really could have been an amazing look for the Wolverines.
But still, great play setup from Michigan. With the ball now is Laughlin, but she's going to have it stolen away from her from number 4 on Wake Forest. Wake Forest make its first drive into the Wolverine territory. At the top of the box is 9. Moving into the box is 9. She attempts to get a shot off, but it's going to be blocked away by Aaliyah Martin on defense. Wake Forest going to be taking its 6th corner kick of the game.
My goodness. Compared to Michigan's, 0, it has been nuts, crazy to say the least. The amount of corner kicks these Demon Deacons have had.
Quite a few, and every corner kick, of course, offering a good opportunity to Wake Forest. We've got a lot of Wake Forest players high in the box. They're starting to move in. Here's the kick off the foot of number 25. And a scramble in front.
Oh, my God.
What almost was a goal. But no, it was not a goal. The ball was headed in front of the net, and it looked like Hillary Beal managed to get something on it, but a rebound back right in front led to a hockey-like scramble. Like, the only analogy I can make is like someone's stick digging for the ball in front of the net in the game of hockey, but this is soccer. Quite the scramble right in front.
Don't even know how I'd describe that. There were just players desperately making the kicks, and it did not go in. I really thought it was going in for a moment.
Ball back in play now. Hackinson going to send it up the field looking for Hernandez. Hernandez with the ball. She's knocked down. Michigan faithful not happy about it. They want a foul or a yellow card on the play. No whistle from the referees, however.
A lot of contact on that one.
Absolutely. Wake Forest back with the ball now, moving it into their own zone. They're going to have it stolen away by Laughlin. Laughlin going to slow things down, sending it back to Sydney Shepard. Shepard really slowing it down. She's going to send it back to Beal. Beal looking towards Aaliyah Martin. Martin halfway into the Wolverine zone now. She's looking upfield. She finds Nikki Hernandez. Hernandez with 2 players on her. Is going to get knocked right on the ground by a Wake Forest defender. Whistle. It's going to be...
That is going to be too much contact, I think, for the referee to not call that one.
A little bit too much. And Michigan faithful making sure that their voice is heard right now. The kick headed by a Wake Forest player. They'll recover the ball and have control of it back at the midfield. Moving into the Michigan zone now is number 9. She pauses, trying to get around Skylar Anderson. She can't. Anderson has the ball now. She's moving up and looks to get the ball to Danny Wolf. Wolf won't be there in time, and the ball is going to roll out on the near side of the field. This is quite deep in the Wake Forest zone. We're going to have a throw-in.
I just cannot believe a minute or two ago that tussle at the Michigan net. Just Wake Forest player and Michigan player. I really thought that one had gone in for a minute, and when it was kicked away, it was just...
You know,
I don't really know if you can get a better look on net than the Demon Deacons did right there, and yet they came away with nothing on that play.
And that close to the net, too. It's not that frequent that in the game of soccer, that many kicks that close to the net doesn't lead to a goal. It didn't, though. It's still 1-0 on the board. Demon Deacons leading in shots 6-4 over the Wolverines. Wolverines, of course, leading in goals, which is what matters in the very end. 39 minutes remaining in the first half. It's going to be a goal kick for the Demon Deacons. That's Caitlin Parks in net for them. She's going to send it into Wolverine territory, but not very far. The Wolverines going to gain control of the ball and take it back. Right now, Sydney Shepard taking her time with it. She's looking upfield, finds Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson sending it over. She's going to get it back. A little bit of a give and go there. She looks upfield to Strategakis. Strategakis gets it, but she's knocked down as she kicks it. A little bit of a rough play there, but no whistle, and the ball's going to go out of bounds. We're going to have a Wake Forest throw-in. Throw-in goes to a Wolverine. With it right now is Danny Wolf. Wolf at the top of the Wake Forest box. Moves backwards. She's going to look back. And taking a long kick now is the Michigan defender. This is going to go over to Laughlin, who sets herself up at the top of the box. Ooh. She looks to send it to Nikki Hernandez, who winds up for quite the kick. Doesn't manage to get the ball off. A little bit of a whiff.
Doesn't manage. Doesn't seem to get all of it, unfortunately.
Not too much of it, at least. Ball's going to be kicked out by a Wake Forest defender. The ball goes out of play. Wake Forest then... We're a little behind in this call. I'm trying to describe what just happened. I apologize for that. Ball essentially goes out in the back end off of a Wake Forest player. And Michigan finally going to have its first corner kick of the game. Wake Forest already having 6. All right, from the near corner, here's the kick. It's high in the box as well, and it's going to go to a Wake Forest player who will gain control. She's going to send it out at just below the midfield line. Excuse me, it didn't make it all the way out. In a Wolverine.
Seems to stop right before the out-of-bounds line.
It slowed down. A Wolverine got there first. She got her foot on it. Not too much pressure on her. She'll send it back. The Wolverines send it back into the zone, but Wake Forest recovers the ball. Wake Forest with the ball now. They send it up to the midfield. Number 88. Dribbling. Looks way downfield to number 20. But Beal will get there in time and get her hands on that. Almost a strong breakaway for number 20 of Wake Forest.
Just not quite. This has really been a game of, I'd say, almosts for Wake Forest. They've had so many near-perfect opportunities.
And they just can't seem to finish. Here's another shot from Wake Forest. It's to the right of the net by about 3 feet. Lot of meat on that shot, though. And if they get it on net, they may have a strong opportunity to tie this game up. 36 minutes remaining in the half. It's Beal's ball, a goal kick. She's going to send it over to Aaliyah Martin. Martin looking to Skylar Anderson on the left side. That's the near side by us. Anderson looking back. Shepard telling her she doesn't want it. She wants her to send it up. But
Wake
Anderson
Forest playing real aggressive, real fast on the offensive side of the ball here.
Anderson under quite a lot of pressure there, and she'll accidentally kick it out of bounds where Wake Forest has a throw, and they throw it back. Now we're at the midfield. They're starting to move back into Michigan territory, setting themselves up once again. Ball to number 88 in the center of the field, middle of Michigan zone. She'll send it to the top of the box where the Wake Forest player loses control of the ball, and Michigan gets a foot on it. However, Danny Wolf is going to collide with a Wake Forest player, and we're going to have a ball, a whistle, excuse me. Ball will be in Wake Forest's possession. They're controlling now, midpoint of the Michigan territory. Moving towards the top of the box is 28 for the Demon Deacon. She's under the pressure of 2 Wolverines. Ball's going to go out off of Wake Forest. With the throw-in is going to be Skylar Anderson. Some great pressure from Anderson there to force the ball out on Wake Forest. Anderson's going to look to Aaliyah Martin, who's going to get her foot on it, punt it deep downfield, really deep, excuse me, to Wake Forest territory, chasing after it very fast is Strategakis. She'll get a foot on it, but she'll send it over to Wake Forest goaltender, Caitlin Parks. Parks will send it back towards midfield. Wake Forest.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Dolson.
This half, we've had a lot of, really rough contact, a lot of whistles being called, some, aggressive, brutal contact, really, between players.
Agreed, and at the midfield, Wake Forest is going to turn the ball over to the Wolverines once again, turning it over to Loftman. Loftman looking for Nikki Hernandez. Unable to complete the pass. Hernandez will get the ball back now. She's going to swing it back to Skylar Anderson. Anderson over to Aaliyah Martin. A lot of passes between the two of them, as well as Sydney Shepard in the back end. Martin looks back upfield, and Anderson making a fast break. She's coming up now. She looks to get the ball to Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf can't keep it on her feet under the pressure of 3 defenders, but she regains control and dribbles around 1 defender. Can't get it.
Yet more, a little bit of a rough contact on that play. Number 14 gets tripped up there, but no whistle called.
Absolutely. Ball, however, is going to roll out in the back end, and we're going to have a goal kick, I believe, from Caitlin Parks.
Excuse me, I'm not sure what just happened.
Ball rolled out right there.
I believe a referee might have just... A yellow card has just been issued. I'm not sure what's going on. I believe a yellow card was just issued to Giovanna DeMarco of Wake Forest, I believe.
The midfielder number 3 will receive that yellow card. Neither of us up here know completely why. We were paying attention to the ball's location away from the majority of the players. It can be assumed that there was some tussle. Perhaps something had to draw that card. Ball back in play now. Wake Forest number 9 with it. However, it's going to go out off of her. Michigan will have a throw-in. They will also have a substitution. Back in the game for the Wolverines is number 7, Emily Layson.
Approaching Approaching 33 minutes left in the half. Michigan still holding on to that 1-0 lead with the currently game-deciding goal coming 10 minutes into the first half.
Absolutely. And Layson going to substitute for Loftman, who's been a playmaker all game for the Wolverines. I assume we will see her back in after she takes a quick break here. Wake Forest with the ball deep in their own territory. They're looking to get it out, passing it upfield. Still about halfway into their territory, however. They have to reset. The ball goes back towards their defenders. Under a lot of pressure from Danny Wolf right now. Make that pressure from Danny Wolf and Nikki Hernandez. And under this pressure, they're going to turn the ball over. Hernandez will send it to Wolf, who gains control. Wolf to Strategakis. Strategakis back to Nikki Hernandez. Coming down the field from the far side. She looks to cross it over. Looking for Meredith Hackinson in front of the net, who tried to get her head on it. It was a little too high, wasn't there in time. Wolverines controlling the ball deep in the Wake Forest zone right now. However, and a Michigan player is going to have a ball kicked away out by Wake Forest. It will be a throw-in for the Wolverines. She is a little too far for me to see the number.
Another substitution being made. Number 3, Sammy Woods coming in for number 14, Danny Wolf.
Wolverines taking out Danny Wolf, a very strong player for this organization. Give her a quick break. I assume we will see her back in the game, just like I assume we will see Loftman re-enter this game later on. 31 minutes remaining in the half. It's a throw-in deep in Wake Forest territory. The ball, however, going to go to Wake Forest, who attempt to kick it deep out. However, they turn it over to Sydney Shepard. Shepard holding on to a Wake Forest player.
And another yellow card going to be thrown out, this time on the Wolverines.
Against Sydney Shepard will receive the yellow card, this time for holding. A little bit of a tussle there between her and another Wake Forest player.
It'll be the second yellow card of the game, one on both Wake Forest and the Wolverines. Wake Forest will take the ball at midfield.
And 24 is just going to opt to send it over to her left to number 7. 7's going to swing it over to the far side of the field to 25. She'll turn it over to the Wolverine zone. Here comes number 3, Sammy Woods, who just got substituted into this game. She'll send it over to 7, Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson looking for Strategakis deep into Wake Forest territory already. The Wolverines gaining control. Strategakis, will slow it down. And a Wake Forest defender will get her foot on the ball, kicking it out on the far side of the field, about halfway into Wake Forest territory. Here's the throw-in to Strategakis. Strategakis sends it back to the Michigan player, threw the ball in. I believe that was number 15, Sarah Bridenstine. Bridenstine's going to throw it in once again. She'll throw it to Sammy Woods. It bounces off of Woods' foot. We're going to have a whistle as she knocks down a Wake Forest player. Wake Forest will gain the ball. 30 minutes remaining in the first half. Michigan with 4 shots, Wake Forest with 7.
It has been very aggressive second half. A lot of contact through 2 yellow cards already thrown. Only about 15 minutes into the half.
Absolutely.
Some key substitutions being made. Players needed just a moment to rest.
And Wake Forest with the ball now at the midfield. Here's number 4. She's going to send it back to Wake Forest defense. However, they're under a lot of pressure from Sammy Woods.
Ooh.
Wake Forest manages to get the ball up the field. And under a lot of pressure from number 5, Skylar Anderson, they'll lose control of the ball. Wake Forest, it will go out on a Wake Forest player, so we're going to have a throw-in about midway in the Michigan zone on the near side. Throwing it in is Skylar Anderson. She'll throw it in. Sydney Shepard with the ball now. Shepard sending it to the other side of the field. It's Sarah Bridenstine with the ball now. She's looking upfield. She passes it to Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson taking her time. She's going to send it back to Bridenstine at about the midway point on the far side of the Wake Forest zone.
Demon Deacon faithful making their voice heard. Not sure if it's getting picked up by the mic, but they are getting loud.
They are
for
loud.
their team.
under a time pressure right now. Under 30 minutes, excuse me, remaining in the first half.
Michigan
We're going to have
holding
yet
on
another.
to apologies. Michigan holding on to a very close 1-0 lead.
Absolutely. And Michigan going to have a throw-in. Controlling the ball now is Sydney Shepard. Shepard going to send it back to Aaliyah Martin. Martin looking to her partner on the left of her is Skylar Anderson. She's near us right now. Anderson looks across the ball back over the midfield. Michigan was controlling it in their own zone. They turn it over to Wake Forest, who now has the ball about halfway into the Michigan zone. And Michigan, Aaliyah Martin to be exact, regains control. She's going to grab it looking for Stratigakis. Stratigakis grabs the ball. She's coming up into the Wake Forest zone. At the lip of the box, she'll get the ball off of her feet. It's going to roll towards the net. Easy save for Parks.
A beautiful pass there a moment ago. Unfortunately, Wake Forest defenders all on her as she attempted to take the shot there.
And Stratigakis, obviously a playmaker, just couldn't get the shot off in time. Wake Forest with the ball now deep in Michigan territory. A Wake Forest player looks to swing it across the net. Shepard gets a foot on it. She kicks it back out. Here's the ball again in the box. Shepard gets her head on it. She's a fantastic defender for the Wolverines.
Excellent work by Shepard there, breaking up the play before Wake Forest could really get any good looks on net.
And Stratigakis with the ball now at the midfield. She's going to send it deep into Wake Forest territory. It will be an easy grab for Caitlin Parks, who scoops the ball up. She's going to hold it for a little bit, looking like she's directing the play on the field right now, calling out to her defenders. She wants them to move up a little bit. And when I say up, I mean more towards the Michigan territory as she sends this ball towards the midfield.
Coming up on under 27 minutes left in the half, and presumably the game.
Ball's going to go out off of a Wolverine, and we're going to have a Wake Forest throw-in. We will also have a Wake Forest substitution. Coming in is number 10. She's taking out number 4. Number 4 has absolutely made her presence known on the field. I apologize that we have not been calling their names. We do not have a sheet with too much information on Wake Forest today. Lily Farkas is going to come in for the Wolverines. She's taken out Stratigakis, who has absolutely been making her presence felt on the pitch today. Stratigakis, a key player for the Wolverines. Very aggressive, does a great job moving the ball up the midfield and through the center. I'm sure we will see her re-enter this game later on, just as I am sure we will see Danny Wolf and Riley Laughlin reappear as well. Ball's back in play at exactly the midfield. Right now, Wake Forest controlling. They're looking to make their way into Michigan territory. However, an errant pass goes to Aaliyah Martin. Martin's going to turn it back over to Wake Forest, but she's playing strong defense. She looks to get her foot back on it. Wake Forest manages to get a shot off. It is high over the net. If this was football, that ball would have been good. Could have had a field goal there.
A real booming kick there. Yeah, it just sailed barely over the top of the net.
A very strong kick from Wake Forest. Not on the net, though, which is what they need right now. Goal kick from Hillary Beal. She's just going to send it over to Sydney Shepard. Shepard looks upfield to number 7, Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson sends it back to Shepard. Shepard way upfield. Over the midfield, she'll kick it down to number 20. Excuse me. Very wrong in that number. Number 7 had it. Meredith Hackinson once again. Hackinson sends it over to Nikki Hernandez. Hernandez moving in towards the box. She's going to be knocked down by a Wake Forest player. And
doesn't look not.
And we're going to have a whistle. We are going to have what I believe is a penalty kick. Yes.
Oh, baby.
A penalty kick for Nikki Hernandez, who was knocked down inside the box. She was absolutely making an aggressive push towards that goal. And the Wolverine faithful are very excited. Right in front of us, however, a lot of Wake Forest fans, they are stressed right now.
Not too happy about that call, but
not too happy. You can see some tension in the air in front of us.
I may be a little biased, but I think that was a little too aggressive. I do believe that was the right call.
And Meredith Hackinson will be making this kick for the Wolverines. Hackinson, ball placed down. The ref talking with the Wake Forest goalie. He gives her the go. Here's the whistle. Hackinson, she kicks. It's to the left side, and we have a Michigan goal. Hackinson scores on the penalty kick on the left side as Wake Forest's goaltender Caitlin Parks dove to the right side from our vantage point, of course, diving to her left. It is 2-0 Michigan with just under 25 minutes remaining in the second half here from the UM Soccer Complex. Ryan, this absolutely changes the pace of this game.
That really changes everything. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice insurance goal, if you want to call it that, but this has been a real neck-and-neck game. Some people could maybe be inclined to call Michigan's goal 10 minutes in the first half, maybe a little bit of luck, but, I mean, 2-0. Michigan's defense has been on top of Wake Forest, putting a stop to any good looks they've had. That could be a real difference maker.
Absolutely, and this is where Michigan wants to be at this point in the game. This is where they thrive. That little lead in the second half, we'll see if they expand it or if Wake Forest manages to come back and answer with a goal of their own. Michigan with the ball deep in the Wake Forest zone. We're going to have a light shot now from Meredith Hackinson. Looks like she's trying to get her third. Wasn't too hard. Easy save in net for Caitlin Parks. Now Wake Forest with the ball entering the Michigan zone. They're going to turn it back over to the Wolverines. Wolverines with the ball. It's number 11, Lily Farkas. She gets knocked down a little bit. She'll turn the ball back over to Wake Forest, who's under a lot of pressure from the Wolverine defense. With the ball, number 20 for Wake Forest, Shepard on her. She's going to pass it right into the feet of Emily Layson. Layson will send it up and out. It's going to go out on the far side at about the midway point of the Wolverine zone, so we're going to have a Wake Forest throw-in.
Demon Deacons, I think, are really to not let this game spiral out of their control. I really think they're going to need a quick response, and this offense playing angry, playing, with an intensity, desperately trying to make sure this game does not become too far out of reach. Absolutely,
as we are very close to crossing over the halfway point of the second half. Here's the throw in deep in Michigan territory. Wolverines and Demon Deacons fighting for it. Sydney Shepard providing a lot of pressure on the Wake Forest player with the ball. And Avery Kalita is going to get her foot on it and send it down into Wake Forest territory where Parks is waiting to grab the ball outside of the box.
Expertly handled by Sammy Woods, might I say.
Turnover back to the Wolverines now. With the ball is Sarah. Very wrong in that. Avery Kalita.
Pass by, apologies, Emily Layson. Almost a little too far right, almost sails out of bounds, but Wolverines able to save it.
And now here comes number 3, Sammy Woods with the ball, deep in Wake Forest territory. She's going to enter the box, looks to swing it across the pitch to number 11, Lily Farkas. Farkas can't get her foot on it before a Wake Forest player does. They send it out of the zone. Michigan recovers. Sydney Shepard with the ball. Just a few meters into Wake Forest territory. She's going to send it in looking for Meredith Hackinson. A Wake Forest player gets her foot on it and is going to send it out on the far side. Play won't resume just yet as we have a substitution for Michigan. Entering the game is number 6, Casey Lawrence. She's taking out number 20, Nikki Hernandez. Hernandez, another playmaker, of course, one of the leading scorers on this Michigan team, is going to take a break. 21 minutes remaining in the second half. Here's the throw-in. Wake Forest recovers the ball halfway into their zone. They're going to cross over the midfield before they turn it over to the Wolverines. Wolverines with the ball now. Number 3, Sammy Woods fighting for it at the lip of the box. She'll look to her right and find Lily Farkas, who's going to take a shot. That one firing towards the net goes just left by a few feet. Now Michigan and Wake Forest tied with 8 shots.
You got to look. I think that second goal, Deacons are really playing from behind, playing a little desperate. And I think as a result, playing a little sloppy, might I say. They're really turning the ball over a lot. They're letting Michigan get way too many good looks deep into Deacon territory. I really think they gotta, it's so hard. It seems like they've had a very, almost, looking at some of the stats, looking at the time of possession, they might have had the edge in just about everything but points, which is the reason you play the game.
Absolutely a change of pace following that second goal. We're going to have a whistle here, a little bit of a foul on the play, I believe. And Wake Forest, it will be in their possession at the midfield. They're going to opt to send it back into their zone so the defense can let the team reset. They're passing it around under heavy pressure from Sammy Woods, however. Sammy Woods' pressure is going to lead to the ball being stolen by Casey Lawrence, but Lawrence is, I want to say trucked. I'm not sure if that's an appropriate word, but she is absolutely, she is
the third yellow card of the game called on Wake Forest there.
That's going to be awarded to Malik Amina, number 10, the freshman midfielder of Wake Forest, as she collided very hard.
Trucked might not be the most appropriate term, but I really cannot think of a better word to describe what happened there.
So Aaliyah Martin going to kick the ball, looking for Skylar Anderson. However, it's intercepted by Wake Forest players. Going to cross over into Wolverine territory. And now Aaliyah Martin on defense, defending the person who intercepted her kick. Wake Forest player looks to kick it into the box, intercepted by a Wolverine, but turned back over to Wake Forest, who's still trying to set themselves up for a shot.
Oh!
Fantastic shot, hits the crossbar of the net.
It's going to be a whistle.
And a few Wake Forest players yelling from below that was a goal. It was not. It hit the crossbar of the goal.
About as close to a goal as you can possibly get. I mean, if you're the Demon Deacons, you got to be getting frustrated at this point.
And yeah, that absolutely, when you're tied in shots, you've had similar opportunities. It's tough to see that 2-goal deficit on the scoreboard, but that is where we stand right now. They've got 18 minutes to change it if they can. Demon Deacons, possession now, looking to bring the ball into the Michigan zone. However, Wake Forest player is going to fall while carrying the ball in. Ball goes out off the Wolverines. Coming back into the game now is Riley Loffman for the Wolverines. Not surprising to see her re-enter. Loffman going to be taking out Emily Layson. Layson playing a strong few minutes there for the Wolverines.
I mean, like I'm saying, like I was saying a minute ago, I mean, the Demon Deacons have been playing really aggressive, real hard ball, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it, all game. And it must be getting frustrating how many good looks, how many good shots they've had, and just nothing to show for it.
Absolutely, and the throw-in is going to lead to a quick, aggressive run from Wake Forest. A shot from high in the Wolverine zone is going to drift far above the net. That's going to be Wake Forest's 10th shot of the game. Can't do anything if you don't hit the net, however, so ball's going to be rolled in by the goaltender to Aaliyah Martin. Martin finds Skylar Anderson, who's going to look way upfield towards Sammy Woods. Woods in a tussle right now. The Wake Forest defender is going to fall, and Woods looking for a partner to pass it to. She doesn't have the pass, and Parks is going to make a great save there, grabbing a rolling ball before Sammy Woods could get her foot on it. Wake Forest going to come in the opposite direction very quickly, and they have a great opportunity right now. Shot is off. I can't even describe just how fast the pace of play turned around, but we have a fantastic save from Hillary Beal, who got her hands on the ball after Wake Forest turned things around, punted that ball deep downfield, and managed to get a shot off. The ball is now back at the midfield. 16:31 remaining in the game, and Ryan, we are moving very fast right now.
This game has been absolutely crazy, I think. Straight on from the penalty kick that resulted in Michigan's second goal of the game. It really feels the Demon Deacons playing desperate out here, trying to get something going. I mean, they got 11 shots on goal.
And it's exciting,
Nothing to show for it. 6 corner kicks. That's just got to be frustrating, to say the least, as a player.
Very frustrating, and it's hard to describe the excitement right now in the UM soccer complex. A lot of excited fans. We've got packed stands on both sides today despite the cold. And we're just heating up right now in round 2 of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. 15:40 on the clock. The Wolverines with the ball at the midfield. Carrying possession now is Sarah Bridenstine. Bridenstine looking deep downfield for Sammy Woods. She's going to find Woods. Woods will send it over to Casey Lawrence.
Rough bit of contact happening again. The referee reaching.
And the referee's going to give another yellow card.
4th yellow card of the game. I'd like to point out there were 0 yellow cards in the first half. And the second half, Casey Lawrence called for a yellow card. There's been some aggressive play, to say the least.
The
on both
yellow
sides.
card called off of a collision at the lip of the box in Wake Forest's zone. So now 2 yellow cards on the Wolverines, 2 yellow cards on Wake Forest.
Perfectly balanced.
Park's going to take the kick for Wake Forest. She's going to send it deep into Michigan territory. Racing for the ball right now for the Wolverines is Sarah Bridenstine. She'll get there first. However, Wake Forest is going to grab the ball quickly after. Coming down, looking for an opportunity is number 9. She's in the box, surrounded by 3 Wolverines. Sydney Shepard applying a lot of pressure on her. She will get a shot off, and it's going to hit off the post. The post. It bounces off, comes back out to number 25 of Wake Forest, and you know what she does? She kicks the ball. You know where it goes. It hits the crossbar. An unlucky streak for the Demon Deacons, as they have hit every piece of metal on this goal.
At some point,
and they can't find the net.
At some point, you almost start feeling sorry for them. This is just some of the most brutal luck I have ever seen.
They have hit every piece of this net,
I swear.
of this goal, besides the
swear.
net, besides the back of that net. And you know, I really can't put into words the unlucky process we just saw for the Demon Deacons. They were in fantastic formation. They had a great setup and 2 great shots. One of them hitting the left post, the other hitting the crossbar.
Just barely over.
They're almost out shooting Michigan in a factor of 2-1. 13 shots for
13
Wake Forest.
Shots, nothing to show for it. And so many of those shots, I mean, it feels like any other day those ones would easily sail in, but soccer can be just a cruel game sometimes.
A game that depends quite a lot on the bounces of the ball. There aren't too many opportunities, so what you make of those opportunities is crucial. And, you know, it just seems like Wake Forest is playing against luck right now. And they've got the ball in the Michigan zone about halfway down. 28 controlling under pressure. It's going to be intercepted by Aaliyah Martin, but she'll knock it out. Wake Forest will have a throw-in halfway in to the Michigan zone on the near side. Here's the throw-in. Skylar Anderson's going to get a head on it. However, it's going to go back to a Wake Forest player. Wake Forest controlling the ball for the past few minutes. She's going to get a shot off. Hillary Beal will have no problem scooping it up as she's going to drop to her knees, slow the game down a little bit, holding onto the ball.
As you just said a minute ago, almost a 2-1 shots for Wake Forest will become 2-1. Michigan with 7 shots on goal today. Wake Forest with their 14th shot just a second ago. Coming up on under 13 minutes left in the game.
And the punt deep into Wake Forest territory. We're going to have a collision, and a Michigan player is on the ground as play resumes. The ball now deep in Michigan territory. So they're going to kick it out. It looks like the player on the ground was Sammy Woods, number 3. She's been having a very aggressive game, playing very strong for the Wolverines.
Very
We're hoping
slow
she's
to
all
get
right.
up. Still not fully up right now.
It's good to see some sportsmanship. A Wake Forest player will head over to Woods, ask if she's all right, pat her on the back.
She will.
Of course, mutual respect among both teams. Nice to see.
Love to see great bits of sportsmanship there. She seems all right. She is going to stay in. 12.5 minutes exactly left in the half. Michigan with a very comfortable 2-0 lead right now.
So Woods is back up. We've got a quick break in the game right now. A lot of Michigan players and Wake Forest players heading over to the bench to grab a sip of water, taking advantage of the pause. The music playing once again here at the UM Soccer Complex. The sun has fully set by now. We are fully under the lights of the stadium.
The moon shining brightly over this intense, exciting, feels much closer than the score would indicate game of soccer. You look at the stats, you either have Wake Forest completely leading in one aspect or in, shots on goal and corner kicks, or completely shared in terms of yellow cards. Michigan having 2, Wake Forest having 2.
And Ryan, I would also say that despite the score, despite Wake Forest's unlucky attempts, Michigan isn't necessarily leading just because of luck. They have done a good job playing this team. They've been aggressive. They've played solid defense. There have been cracks in that defense. In Wake Forest, whether it's luck or an inability to penetrate, they just haven't been able to take advantages of those cracks in Michigan's defense, which you need to do because there are not that many. Ball back in play now. We're going to have a little collision at the midfield. Wake Forest with the ball. They're going to enter Michigan territory, about midway into territory. Ball on the near side of the field. 28 cutting in towards the middle. She's going to take a little punt off. Hillary Beal will get there, but she's going to collide with Sydney Shepard.
Contact there.
Sydney Shepard of her own team. Beal has the ball, however.
5th yellow card. No, excuse me, a red card thrown on the Demon Deacons. Not sure which player it was, but I almost said our 5th yellow card of the game, but no, that will be our
Not a yellow card. It's going to be a red card, which confirms that this player, here's what I believe happened. We did not describe it in time, but Shepard and Beal collide. Shepard was shoved into Beal, however, by the player that was awarded the red card. She will leave the game.
I'm not sure if it actually. He might have taken it back. I'm not sure. They're on the board. They're saying Giovanni was awarded a yellow card, and I don't see any Wake Forest players leaving the field currently.
No, Giovanni DeMarco, number 3, did leave the field earlier.
I must have missed that one then. I apologize.
A lot going on the field right now.
Too much to describe, especially coming up under 12 minutes left in the game.
It's been an exciting game. Now Michigan with the ball, looking for Sammy Woods out at the lip of the net. Not going to find her. We've got a passionate crowd right now calling for different plays from the referees. Wake Forest is going to kick the ball back towards the midfield. Michigan with it now. Sydney Shepard in the back end, going to swing it over to Sarah Bridenstine. Bridenstine looking upfield. She's looking for Meredith Hackinson. Doesn't find Hackinson. It's going to go back in the feet of Parks of Wake Forest. Parks going to send it to her defender, number 21. She's under a lot of pressure from Sammy Woods. Woods is going to recover the ball from her. Looks to dribble around the Wake Forest defender. Here's the shot. It's saved by Parks in her feet. Wasn't the best shot as Sammy Woods was under quite a lot of pressure at the moment, but a fantastic aggressive play from her, taking the ball away from the Wake Forest defender. Wake Forest with the ball now, but under a lot of pressure, some of it coming from Aaliyah Martin, the rest of it coming from number 19, Avery Kalita.
Whistle going to be blown for a moment.
We're going to have a whistle on the play, a foul on the play. So the refs determine that it's going to be a Wake Forest ball.
10 minutes, 40 seconds left. Demon Deacons really trying to move fast, get something on the board, and hopefully come back in this game.
And you can feel the increasing intensity right now as passions begin to run higher. This game is growing in its physicality. And so is the crowd. They are raising their voices quite a lot right now, especially the Wake Forest crowd, unhappy with some of the calls so far in the game. Ball and play controlled by Wake Forest deep in their own end after Michigan punted it out of its territory. Wake Forest going to send it back into the Michigan zone where Sydney Shepard is waiting to receive the ball. She'll send it over to Skylar Anderson. Anderson looks over to Avery Kalita. Kalita sending it to the far side of the field away from us to number 15, Sarah Bridenstine, as Bridenstine starts to move upfield, passing to Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson controlling the ball. She's looking for a give and go. She will not have it. The ball is going to roll out in the far end off of an errant pass by the Wolverines. And it will be
quick substitution or two going to be made for the Wolverines.
And here's the return of Danny Wolf and Nikki Hernandez that we have been awaiting. They're going to come in to play the last 10 minutes of the game.
Going to come in for Sammy Woods and Casey Lawrence. Going to come in for those two.
Those two key players for the Wolverines will re-enter the game.
Coming up on 9 minutes left. Definitely going to be real difference makers as Michigan hopes to close this game out.
2-0 lead. Pretty safe. Michigan also looking for some insurance right now. Wake Forest with the ball at midfield. They're going to send it in as they look to put the pressure on. They're moving deeper into Michigan territory but playing risky business. A lot of turnovers have come from Wake Forest's aggressive play, and here is another one. Michigan will get their feet on the ball and send it back into the Wake Forest zone where the Wake Forest defender is waiting to receive it. She's under pressure now from Bridenstine. However, manages to get it in on the kick. Sydney Shepard is waiting for it. She grabs it, but she turns it over to a Wake Forest player. Wake Forest player going to knock over a Michigan defender who is putting some pressure on her. Ref's going to blow the whistle, and it will be a Michigan ball. Knocked down was number 19, Avery Kalita.
Demon Deacons continuing to play aggressively. I don't even want to say they're playing aggressively because they have been playing that way all game, but now perhaps they're starting to play angry, it could seem.
Turning up the physicality. The kick down will stay in play. It's going to roll all the way towards the back end, however, and it's knocked out. The refs will rule by the Wolverines, so Parks will have another goal kick for Wake Forest. The pace of play and possession changing rapidly all throughout this game right now.
Coming up, 7.5 minutes left in the half. Michigan still with a 2-goal lead.
And Wake Forest with possession. They're going to take it deep into Michigan territory but lose control of it. Fighting to contain the ball and box out the Wake Forest player who looks to get her foot on it is number 5, Skylar Anderson, who provided some fantastic defense there, boxing out the Wake Forest player as the ball rolled down.
Another quick Wolverine substitution going to be happening. Emily Layson coming in for number 19, Avery Kalita.
Emily Layson enters the game, like you just said, for the Wolverines, and the Wolverines in possession of the ball. Now, kicking it is Skylar Anderson. She's looking for Layson, won't find her. It's going to go to a Wake Forest player. Wake Forest with the ball now. They're in possession, deep in Wolverine territory on the far side of the field. Ball's going to be kicked out by Michigan. Wake Forest, number 10, will grab it for the throw-in. She's going to find a player who's under quite a lot of Michigan pressure. Michigan, like I've said before, doing a good job of keeping up the pressure, that back check in their defensive end. And Wake Forest going to attempt to punt it towards the goal.
A desperation shot, one could even call it.
That's, I think, a great way to put it. Hillary Beal will be there. No problem for her. She's going to punt it deep downfield. This one's going to make it at least halfway into the Wake Forest zone where 21 is waiting to receive it, but there are plenty of Michigan players there. Fighting for it right now is Hackinson. Hackinson almost gets her foot on it. And under pressure, Wake Forest is going to kick it out on the far side. We're going to have a Michigan throw in deep in the Wake Forest zone. 5:35 remaining in the second half. It's 2-0 Michigan. Wake Forest leading in shots at a factor 2-1 with 15 to Michigan's 8.
Michigan seemingly trying to kill time off the clock. Not a bad strategy with about 5 minutes left. You got a 2-goal lead. You really do not want to give the Demon Deacons even the slightest opportunity here.
Absolutely. Slow that momentum down. Here's the throw-in. It's going to go to a Wake Forest player, and they are going to start making their way down the field. But they're not. They turn it over to the Wolverines. Here's Hernandez. She's very fast, does a great job intercepting balls. If you watch her play, you will notice that she comes out of absolute nowhere to intercept these passes as teams try to break out of their defensive end. So Hernandez intercepts the ball under the pressure of her play. Wake Forest is going to kick it out. Here's the throw-in for the Wolverines. With possession now is number 5, Skylar Anderson. Anderson passes it to number 11, Lily Farkas. Farkas looking for Emily Layson. She'll get the ball to Layson. Layson, under a lot of pressure, is going to send it to the back end to Bridenstine at about the midfield. Bridenstine sends it back in towards Meredith Hackinson. Hackinson looking to the very corner. He's going to pass it to, I believe, I can't see the number 2 well. Believe that may have been Bridenstine. Bridenstine attempted a kick. It went out, so we had a goal kick in from Parks. Didn't go too far. And Sydney Shepard managed to get her head on it at midfield. It rolled out of bounds, so we're going to have a Wake Forest throw, and here's the throw. Ball is back in play now. And Meredith Hackinson pressuring the Wake Forest player who's on the far side of the field to knock it out. Throws back in. Ball coming down, and Wake Forest coming in on the Michigan zone. We're going to have a collision.
No whistle called there.
We're going to have a
Forest
collision
fans.
deep in the Michigan zone. Wake Forest fans very unhappy with the lack of a call on that play. Michigan punts it out, and we're going to have an offside ruling as Hackinson looked to start an offensive blitz.
Wake Forest fans not happy about the lack of call right there. Coming in on 3 minutes left in the game. I mean, I think every call really matters, especially.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. We're going to have a break in the game here. Appears we're going to have a substitution with Meredith Hackinson coming out. Re-entering the game is Casey Lawrence. Seems that Hackinson may be struggling with a little bit of an injury. She's got a slight limp coming off the field. We hope she is all right, especially seeing that it seems that Michigan will be playing on Sunday in round 3, the Sweet 16. That will be back at the UM Soccer Complex, no matter what team wins. It's going to be a Wake Forest kick from about the midfield. Goaltender Parks will take the kick. Wake Forest very deep, looking to get themselves set up. They received the ball, but they're under a lot of pressure. Riley Loffman really aggressive on Wake Forest. They're going to have to swing it back to their defender at the midfield. They're under so much pressure. The ball about in the middle of the field, still at the midfield. Wake Forest looking to set itself up under a lot of time constraints right now. They swing it towards us on the near side. They're going to send it in towards the Michigan net. Doesn't make it all the way. Sydney Shepard gets a head on it, and Michigan is able to kick it out. Flying in to retrieve the ball is Casey Lawrence. She doesn't make it in time. We're going to have a whistle.
Bit too much contact there on the Wolverines side.
A little bit too much of contact. Whistle is called. Wake Forest with the ball again. However, they get right back into it, back into the Michigan zone. They're putting a lot of pressure on, playing a lot of dump and chase this ball. They want to kick it deep, gain control.
Just trying to get something going. I mean, no goals on the day. Their tactic, their game plan, the way they wrote it up, just tragically not working. They're just trying to see if they can get anything going. Hopefully get lucky with under 2 minutes left in the game.
And unsuccessful so far. Michigan recovers the ball deep in their own territory, looking to gain another offensive blitz. We have a pass from Casey Lawrence intended for Lily Farkas, but that's going to be ruled offsides by the ref. Clock still running even though we're under a whistle. Parks will take the kick for Wake Forest from just past the midfield in their territory. It won't make it far enough, and Nikki Hernandez will get a foot on it and send it back to Parks in the Wake Forest zone. Parks, again, like I said, they're playing dump it in and grab it. She's trying to send it as far as possible into Michigan territory, and she does. But Michigan will get to the ball first and send it out to the far side.
Under 1 minute left in the game. Wolverines, the 2-0 lead.
Michigan faithful.
Anything can happen in soccer, but this seems about as close of a sure thing as you can hope for.
Well, in soccer, one of those games where time constraints are absolutely crucial. It's very hard to score 2 goals in 40 seconds. Wake Forest trying still, Lot of people gathered in the box. Michigan going to get a foot on the ball after a little scuffle in front of the net with the ball. Ball now about halfway into Michigan's territory. Michigan in possession. Number 17, Emily Layson, going to kick it out. This goes out on the far side, and it looks like Wake Forest fans have started to give up. They have started to leave the stands. Clock ticking down. 10 seconds remaining in the game, and this game is sealed. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is it. The buzzer rings, and Michigan is moving on to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. What a game we just watched, Ryan.
Absolutely amazing. They will be taking on, I made sure to look up, they will be taking on Tennessee in the Sweet 16 on Sunday at 1. So be sure to catch that one. But really couldn't ask for a better win for Michigan. Wake Forest came out hot. They came out aggressive. They came out angry. Michigan was playing from behind for the first few minutes, it really seemed like. But that goal in the first 10 minutes really made all the difference, and that penalty kick coming in the second half was just a little cherry on top of the sundae.
Absolutely. A 2-0 Michigan win over Wake Forest. Our credit to Wake Forest. Fantastic performance today. The game got a little chippy towards the end as tensions ran high. We saw a red card. We saw 4 white cards, but through it all, Michigan powered through, and they made it out. They are moving on to the Sweet 16 this Sunday, like you just said, at 1 p.m. against the Volunteers of Tennessee. I'm not sure if WCBN will be providing coverage of that game. You can check in on our Twitter channel, our Twitter page, rather, for more information. If not, I'd head to mgoblue.com for more coverage of that game Sunday. But WCBN has a big slate of games this weekend as we head into Thanksgiving week. Tonight, we've got some men's ice hockey versus rival Notre Dame of the Big Ten. Of course, Notre Dame just playing Big Ten hockey, them being in the ACC for most other things. And tomorrow, football versus Maryland.
A 3:30 game should be very exciting at Maryland.
At Maryland, before we come back for the big game at the Big House. Ohio State next Saturday. I'm not going to share my opinion because I don't want to jinx it per se, but it should be a good one. I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
But for now, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for spending part of your Friday night with us. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. For Ryan Dolson, I'm Owen Crain signing off, saying go blue.